Everything in the universe had a beginning. All the stars and galaxies, planets and black holes, even time and space itself, all began with a single event 13.8 billion years ago. The Big Bang. But how did that tiny point containing all of everything suddenly become so big, and what happened next? This is the story of how the Big Bang created our Milky Way galaxy, from nothing to everything. The story starts with a bang, obviously, but not with the universe as we know it today. The Big Bang wasn't an explosion in space. There was no space for it to explode in. Instead, it was the creation of space and time and the beginning of the expansion of the universe. To be honest, we don't really know what happened at this moment, or even if it makes sense to ask what happened, because it may not make any sense. The laws of physics as we know them break down at the Big Bang. It's like asking a fish what it was like to live underwater before it evolved. It just doesn't have the capacity to understand. But here's one thing we do know. Before the Big Bang, there was no before. This isn't some deep philosophical statement. It's just that time began with the Big Bang. Anyway, after the initial hot and dense state of the universe, something amazing happened. The universe expanded. Wait, hold on. If there was nothing there, then what did the universe expand into? Again, we don't really know. But thankfully, we don't need to know to answer the next part of the question. What did the universe expand into? Itself. The universe expanded faster than the speed of light. And when it did, space stretched and cooled. Space itself became the thing that allowed other things to exist. As space expanded, matter started to condense. But what kind of matter? The early universe was a hot soup of elementary particles, quarks, electrons, muons, neutrinos, and the photons of light that sizzled between them. But eventually the universe cooled below 1 trillion degrees Celsius, which is very cold compared to the temperatures we're talking about here. And at that temperature, those particles could finally start sticking together. Here protons and neutrons formed from combinations of quarks, and then they joined together to form atomic nuclei. This was the birth of the first atoms, mostly hydrogen and helium. These simple atoms are still the most abundant in the universe today. For millions of years, the universe continued to cool and expand. Gravity pulled the atoms together into giant gas clouds, and these clouds condensed into stars. Over billions of years, many of those stars gathered into groups we call galaxies. And as the universe kept expanding, it set the stage for the birth of our Milky Way. At first, our galaxy was just another one of countless galaxies in the vast universe. Maybe it started off as a dense clump of gas. Maybe it was a bit of a cosmic accident. Whatever the reason, long ago, the Milky Way formed from a spinning disk of gas and dust, bound together by gravity. As it spun, the flat disk of gas gradually pulled itself into a sphere. Inside the sphere, the material grew denser and denser until a supermassive star exploded at its center, creating a black hole. This supermassive black hole would become the gravitational heart of the Milky Way, and all of the stars in the galaxy would orbit around it. At first, stars formed relatively close together. But as time went on, collisions between stars and encounters with other galaxies pushed them farther apart. Now our solar system is way out in the suburbs. In fact, we're actually in the middle of nowhere, at least compared to the densely packed areas of our galaxy. So where are we? We're located in one of the suburbanish regions of the Milky Way, called the Orion Arm, named after the constellation Orion, which is visible from Earth's surface during certain times of the year. More accurately, we're in a solar neighborhood called the local interstellar cloud, a relatively small region filled with dust and gas. We also live inside a suburb of the suburbs called the local bubble, a huge cavity filled with hot gas that's been blown out of the galaxy's plane by a series of nearby supernovae. But those supernovae were only the last act in the story of our galactic birth. In the distant past, the birth of our galaxy was a violent affair. Our galaxy formed in a turbulent era when galaxies grew by gobbling up smaller galaxies and merging with each other. But those days are over now. We're safe, right? Not exactly, you see. Even today, our galaxy has a run-in with its closest galactic neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy. In about 4 billion years, the two galaxies will collide and merge into one. Eventually, our sun will find itself orbiting in the suburbs of the newly merged galaxy. It may sound scary, but a galactic collision is actually a common event in the life cycle of galaxies. It's hard to imagine the Milky Way without Andromeda. After all, some of the oldest stars in our galaxy were born from the dust kicked up from Andromeda's depths. Even now, long before the collision begins, the two galaxies are gravitationally influencing each other. For example, astronomers have already seen a stream of stars populating a region of space between the Milky Way and Andromeda. These stars were torn away from their home galaxy by the gravitational tug-of-war between two big galaxies. This stellar stream is called the Monoceros Ring, and it's a preview of the grand ballet that will occur in billions of years. When the two galaxies collide, stars won't be the only thing dancing. Gas clouds will writhe and twist as gravity pulls them into new shapes and alignments. New stars will be born out of the chaos, while others will die in spectacular fashion. The collision will heat up the gas between the stars, triggering star formation throughout the galaxy. Astronomers think that these collisions are actually crucial events in the life of a galaxy. They bring the old gas and the galactic disk back down to the cold molecular state that forms stars. Without collisions, galaxies would eventually run out of cold gas, and their ability to form new stars would cease. Okay, so maybe we're not safe, but at least we'll have a front row seat. We're definitely not alone in watching. Since humans first looked up into the night sky, we've dreamed of understanding our place in the universe. With the help of modern technology, we can now look deeper into space than ever before and learn more about the nature of the cosmos and our home galaxy. But while we continue to explore the universe, we can take comfort in knowing that no matter where we go and no matter what wonders we discover, we're always connected to the story of the Big Bang and the birth of our Milky Way. And thank you for being a part of that story. When you support this channel, you're helping us explore everything from supervolcanoes to supernovas. You never know what we'll uncover next, but together we can change the world. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be part of the story yourself. Thanks for watching.